And, oh, my fault. Wrong way. Come on, turn around. Turn around. I see. Good morning. Great day, family. Great day. Great Imani. It is good to be here amongst y'all once again on the journey. They're letting y'all know we are here streaming. It's getting up. It's me. Periscope ain't up yet. YouTube not up yet. And the black signal has went out. And man, oh man, I can't wait to get into it today. We got a little discussion that we got to catch. So of course y'all know we're gonna do the toast. But first and foremost, I need to welcome you to the congregation of the mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Ooh, Cleveland. God damn, he be sneaking around. I try to say, hey man, he can't be on the computer, and he be mixing all my. Let me go and flip it around so Anime can go and voice her opinion about the Gye-Nyame journey, because y'all know she usually a little bit louder than that. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. That's right. Of course, you know this is the Daily Toast and some more. And this is a Heart of a Summer production. Lift your glass. Lift your glass. Lift your glass. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink.
More groups participate on the super complex. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
Let's get this. The chat is open. Okay. Alright, let me let people know. Call in line. Let's see how this works. It's open. Great Imani to each and every last one of y'all. So, sitting up here, drinking on some water. About to bust out the health drink. Man, listen, dog. I've been running. And I'm like, man, okay. All right, so, let's do this. I'm going to finish drinking this water. We're going to do the toast. Yet, let's go. Proverbs that I didn't get to do because I forgot some beautiful people were coming into town and I wanted to go chill with them, and I had an opportunity to go out and do that, and it was good to see my family from OSU, and it's good to know that we still getting together, we still out here. Those of us that still alive, we still out here kicking it. We still out here, you know what I'm saying? So, shouts out to all those people who went to OSU, all those black folks that I know many of them between certain years. I won't give years because some people just don't want to, you know. All right, let's just fuck it. Between 84 and 97, I actually went in the school year of 88. But, you know, I have friends that was there before me, and I have friends that probably may still be there now. So shouts out to all those that went to Ohio State. You know, there's plenty of bullshit up in the news that we could go and talk about, but there's other shows that do that. We here to toast the ancestors, look at some ancestral wisdom and see how we can apply it. So, the Proverbs that we need to cover, I'm just going to read them right now. Then if y'all want to discuss them, y'all call in. The past is prophetic in that it asserts loudly that that's Martin Luther King Jr. The second one, a man will fight harder for his interests than for his rights. That's Napoleon Bonaparte, and I think that's a very important one that we really, really, really need to sit down and chat about. The youth walk faster than the elderly, but the elderly knows the road. Or like this, the youth walk faster than the elders, but the elders know the road. All right, that's from the Nihilistic. Okay, so Nihilistic. My fault. Let me say it like that. All right. So over the last month, I have been blessed to be able to share the principle or the ideas behind the principle of unity, and I shared some folk tales with younger people about unity. For those that don't know, there are like 400 Chakalia, Kuji Chakalia night for the show, folk tales for grown folks. Y'all know because we have been through. I'll just give you a round estimate real quick. This is the book. See that? We are. Is that, Brother Hatim? So we on page. Let me see. Okay, yeah, we done did that one. So the folktales start on page 18. We are on page 292. So, and we've been doing that show. So some of y'all are going to be well versed in folktales, or at least we're going to have a nice 100 some odd, right? 400 somewhere around there. We done took them and we done added the principle that they represent on each one. So 7 or 1 of the Nguza Saba, and we have done that, right? We've done that, and so as the central principle of that month. Now, not that everybody buys into it, but it's brilliant. Over the last month, I've been able to get through 4 folk tales primarily, and 5 in some class, and then I ended with 1 last folk tale at the Rock and Roll Call, and I'm gonna share that one with you. But I'm gonna let you know the lessons that we learned about unity. The first one for those that, and that dealt with kindness. That dealt with practicing kindness. Unity requires kindness. Unity means that you're doing things for others, especially in your collective, mainly in your collective, in your tribe, in your family, out of kindness. That's when we learn. Now, I'm getting this from the kids. Second one was from a story called The Donkey and the Purchaser. In The Donkey and the Purchaser, the lesson was the company we keep. Be aware of the company that we keep, because others reflect that, but also going deeper, looking forming within the group that you're striving to have unity, because we have them. We call them cliques. Let's call them, I'm calling what they are, companies. They're companies, and all companies have an end goal. And if you don't have an end goal, then your end goal is chaos. You know what I'm saying? Your end goal is fuckery, because it arises. Entropy exists, and entropy, where there is not a guiding force, entropy will come up and it will overtake it. All right? So the companies that you keep, are they working for the collective or against the collective? Very pertinent one. Less so for kids. Well, actually more kids and adults. Children and adults. Right? Because you see this shit happening. Y'all could be on some good shit. Some good shit is going. Companies form. And those companies is fuckery Inc. You know what I'm saying? We got these companies popping up within our collective, within our tribes, within our communities. These groups pop up and cause confusion. And we have to start understanding that not only as an individual do I affect the collective, but I also affect the collective by the company that I keep. So that story is called actually called The Ass and the Purchaser, but I can't go into the school and be like, listen, children, I'm going to tell you the story about the ass and the purchaser. I wouldn't even be able to get into the story. So it's the donkey and the purchaser at school, but in folk tales for grown folks, it's the ass and the purchaser. And it's not a porno, by the way. It's a very good story. Very good story. If we're going to have unity, we have to know how to deal with conflict. Because soon as we start fighting and fussing among ourselves, we make ourselves vulnerable to the lions or to the predators outside of our circle that could come in and eliminate us one at a time. As a matter of fact, in the story, bulls beefing amongst themselves. How many times have we witnessed this? How do we resolve conflict? I'm going to go over to my corner and you go over to your corner. And we go over I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. I ain't messing with. Understand it's a war zone. I can't understand it for the life of me. Right? I'm sitting up here trying to keep peace and shit, I'm the bad guy. Like, oh, okay, well, fuck it. I don't care. I'll just be the bad guy. I'm going to keep building, though. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? Good luck. All right? Stuff. Where is that? There you go. Resolving conflict. How do you feel? Mad, sad, or scared? I got answer. The fifth one, not everybody got. But the fourth one's called the stomach and its members. The stomach and its members. Right? And this is a story about a stomach where everybody's jealous of the stomach because the stomach get all the food. So they just decide not to do shit. All of them get to eat. But by the time they figured out, it was too late. The body died. Right? So, that story is about understanding and knowing what the stomach do. The brain does what the brain does. The eye does what the eye does. The nose does what the nose does. Other than that, you have confusion. You can't have unity. I will be calling you after the show. I was about to mention that. You ain't give me a chance. But I got you the whole packet. Right here. You got the whole packet. So you got to go through the packet to find that. But it's a good look, right? It's a good product to have to go through. So I got that right here for you. All right. So all those to say, I get to the final story. And that one, I think is more pertinent for, well, actually is good on all levels. And the story that I shared with the young people this week was the hair. Hold on. I gotta look it up. Brother getting old. I love it. All right. All right. Come on up. It's coming up. I know it's about a hair. For those It took me a long time to understand the difference. I still don't. Let me shut up. I still don't understand the difference between a hare and a rabbit. But it looked like a hare got shorter ears or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. Let me open it up. Come on. Computer moving slow. There we go. About to say maybe it don't like me no more. So lines are open, family. Lines are open. Feel free to call in. Join us for the toast. If not, toast it up. Then I can go and do my deliveries. Right? Let's see. I got the first screen up. The Hare and All His Friends. I think that's the name of it, because this thing taking entirely too long. Alright. Damn, this is taking a long time. Alright, here we go. Boom. Come on. Come on down. Come on down. Come on down. Went too far down. Alright, there we go. The Hare with Many Friends. That's the title of it. Alright. So I'm just telling it in my fashion. I want y'all to think about it as adults as well as community. Right? It's a tribe. Right? As a people with specific needs. The hare was very popular amongst the other animals. You know, he could go on the farmyard and he could chill with the bull and they would have a conversation, the goat, chickens, all these friends he had around him. Everybody seemed to love him. Right? He popular, and he believed that he had a whole lot of friends. So one day, he heard behind him the baying of hounds. And he heard men's with him, and the dogs start getting closer and closer. So the first place he go is to the place where all his friends is on the farm. And he heads towards the bull, and he looks at the bull and said, "Bull, can I hide here?" I'm gonna say, "Man, it's kind of tight in this pen. You better go somewhere else." So then he run over to the goat. The goat said, "Goat, can you help me out? Perhaps fight the dogs?" He said, "Man, dogs like to eat goats too. I think you better go somewhere else." So the rabbit run high and talked to the cow, and the cow like, "Moo, I got another appointment, homie. You go somewhere else. Maybe the ducks can help you." And they went to the duck, and the duck like, "I don't want to cause." The hare went through all his friends. All of his friends. And was turned around at every stop. So he was able to escape. He was able to slide what he called friends wasn't friends. And the moral of the story was simply, those with many friends have no friends. Those with many friends have no friends. And that's a unique claim on this country. Very unique. Friends. Right? And to put our friends' needs in front of our needs is sort of like this here, because what has been shown is that when we run to get the aid kicking with you when it was all good, but when shit hit the fan, you started finding out that you was in this shit by yourself. Right, family? And one of the things I love about Aesop is Aesop throws people in their proper place, which goes back to that one folk tale, the stomach and its members, because those other parts didn't understand their role, nor did they understand the role, right? But they didn't know their space. They didn't know their place. And what I'm telling you, as an intelligent being, as a very intelligent person, you need to start identifying what people's roles are in your life. so that you won't have to be running to their door when the shit hits the fan and be turned away. If you are going to have weather and who are steadfast, true friends. I honestly believe that's a major step. You by yourself, but it's also about the company that you keep, fam. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? And let's get to work. Or you can have those that be sitting around, oh, man, you deserve to chill. Go and take a break. Let's chill for about a couple of weeks. Get this water, get this toast on. Let me check some other stuff real quick. All right. So I guess you save those proverbs for next week. I'm going to drink this water and put on some, let's see what we could play today. Uh-oh. About to say it froze on me. Let's see. I just do the pledge.
I am a Gye-Nyame man. I was born for greatness. My greatness comes from my potent center. I pledge to find and connect with my center. I pledge to build my spirit, mind, and body. I pledge to use my hands to build a better world for myself, my loved ones, and my community. Impose limitations. I pledge to promote the principles of the Gye-Nyame warriors and to assist all those who are seeking the path of success. I pledge all these things first to myself, my teachers, to all my relations, and to my higher power. I am Gye-Nyame. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
All right. What I have is the last little bit. Somebody been sneaking in my goddamn bottles. Okay. All right. Somebody been sneaking in my lemon, lime, and ginger. So let's go and drink a little bit of this. Let's go and do this toast. We're going to do this one. This one is, I allow it to sit and stew in that lemon, lime, and ginger. Lemon juice squeezed out, lime juice squeezed out, the whole thing. The whole thing. It's right in there. So that's kind of why it's kind of white too, kind of a milky consistency, you see it. All right. First, giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose. From there, family, we move to our beautiful list of ancestors. And family, if you want to add your ancestors to the list, the number is 614-300-1875. Text toast on any of the other shows, or if you just want to know about activities, you can individualize what type of texts you receive, right? So, let's go. Walter Chris Pendergast and Lena, Uncle Chris, I'm Fiend, Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallard, Montague Pimenel, Nomo X, Sepet Ma Ram, Malika Fakur, Dr. Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Hayes, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Danielle Pulling, the Luxor Brothers, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Nance McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Grindelman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Welly, Lita Farmer, Augusta Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Evelyn Deolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Mary Esther Keach Larice, Linda Watson Hammond, Zero Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavina Hall, Freeman Bankston, Mary Mawson, Philip Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quills, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quills, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Del Rita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martineer, Elder Fred Douglas Triggs II, Bena Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy. Let's go to, hold on, let's see where we streaming at. Annie Ferguson, Michael and Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edwards, McNabb, Mazarine Cofer and George Swan, Edmonia Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Reginald Oliver, Linda Howard, Jacqueline Broadus, Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Edward R. Benson Sr. I might not be casting, all right. Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rayshawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Cecil Russell, Diane Irvin, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Irving Sr., Michael Irvin, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Mirelle Ellis, Elizabeth Battles, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Bradley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Baba Naeem, Tim Butler, Ramey Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., John Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Henry West Staton, Joe Jamel Alls, Miss Vanilla, Albert Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Arlington Houston, Albert Moore, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Hairston, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Francis, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Vivian Stevenson, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Cofer, Dorita Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Lester and Rachel Saunders, John Bowie, Alex Nixon, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harry Tubman Cates, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dan Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Aunt Becker, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell. Hey, who Paul and Gye-Nyame Journey right now? Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Haley Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, June Evans, Donna Hill, Richard Glebus, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Toure, Greg G2 Gibson, Emma McClendon, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irving, Judy Brantley, Brian Watson, Kaniko Parsons, Jason Cathy, Thomas Bradley, Reverend Roosevelt, Word the First, Jennifer Sensenbaugh, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Florence Evans, Pamela Blair, Ransom Evans Sr., Sam Evans Sr., Joe Johnson, Wilbert Longmire, Edith Catney, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Phyllis Lee, DeFridas Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry. It is. So we about to toast the moment. You know what I'm saying?
What's the matter with you?
You know?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
Live this day. We're gonna do what we supposed to do. We're gonna do some building today. Today is Imani. Imani. For those that don't speak the language, Imani means faith. Damn, this Red Daily Toaster shirt look good. Yeah. The Hermetic laws, gender, male, emotional emancipation circle, African Center, cultural virtue and value system. In the wall of the day, we are dealing with Drome, which is a sense of honor, self-respect, Akan ethics, traditional Yoruba, attributes of good character, Oju Ona, originality. Looking at this circle for the 6 emotions, family. Mad, sad, scared, powerful, peaceful, joyful. Which are you? And what are the questions? You need to know these things. We need to go and bring this brother back. We need a workshop. We need a weekend workshop. Lock in weekend workshop. We gonna rent us a nice little place up somewhere, and we can actually work on exercises. And let's do it. We can do it. All right. So we in this moment, we salute, because in this moment is all we got. And in this moment, we are going to make all the changes that we need to make in order to move forward. And with that, we say Ashe from their family. We salute our children's children on to infinity. And we say Ashe from there. Guess what? That's where we go. We go to all of our relations. All of our relations, right? All of our relations. And I'm cool with that. So I lift up my glass. And guess what I say? Ashe. From there, family, I got you. All right? I'm holding it up. Get it out. Toast, and we say Ashe. Last but not least, family, I am going to toast the most powerful person in the room, and that is peace, power, joy, and 100 years. All right? So, let's see. I'm going to sip on this for a minute. Y'all want to have some discussion. The lines are open, 614-556-4535. Once again, that number is 614. We got some. If you want to make a comment on the folktale I dropped, if you want to make a comment on any of those principles, any of those proverbs that I just wear, proverbs and quotes that I just wear, by all means, we got a discussion. If not, I need to get up and start making these ambrosia deliveries.
This call is being recorded.
Somebody on the line. Who this on the line?
This is Sister Nafita on the line.
What's up? Oh, by the way, we want to thank everybody that came out and kicked it with us yesterday.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I keep getting like a buffering when I'm trying to listen.
A who?
On Facebook or YouTube. Like the buffers, I start getting that circle when I'm trying to watch the show sometime for the last 2 days, like on YouTube and on Facebook. I keep getting it in and out. Now, I don't know if that's just on my end.
No, that's not on your end. That's just technology I'm using. I'm trying to give this shit a chance, because I get to stream on multiple platforms. But if I got to let that shit go and go back to the way we used to. Now, I keep on, the one place I'm trying to get everybody to go is to Spreaker. I know. Download the app. Lock me in. Somebody else is up on the line. I'm sorry for the broken up stuff. Who else on the line?
This is Cynthia. Greetings, everyone, first of all. Same thing as Sister Levita. I got the notifications today. For Facebook, I couldn't really watch it on either platform live when I can.
Right.
But I never really have a problem, like, tuning in with Spreaker, push come to shove. So today I just thought I'd call in because, most times I just usually listen. So, greetings, everyone.
What's up? And I got your packet.
Oh, I missed you at yoga, and that's my fault. I totally forgot to send you a personal message with a re-invite, but we missed you this morning. Oh, Sister Romney's yoga thing? Yes, ma'am. Okay, English. Okay, I did forget it. And what time does that usually go on? 10 o'clock, is it?
Yep.
Anybody listening, if you're in need of healing, please believe that we're healing, doing our healing for everyone. But it's always good to practice in community, and so Take this as your personal invitation to come to Sister Honey's yoga class on Sunday morning.
Sunday mornings where?
Okay.
Is that Gorey Insurance?
Insurance. On Broad Street, right next to the BMV.
Right next to the BMV. We had a great turnout last night for, and I hope I don't have to drop this platform because just the idea of streaming on all these, but it might be causing confusion, and I definitely want to make sure that we're able to get the message out. But the movie was excellent last night. People, even though she lost the money, I just want to give.
Okay, bless her heart.
Wait, she came around. I said, how you lose money? I was outside playing, I lost the money. I said, girl, you better go find that money. I said, no, better yet, you go sit at the table. I'll walk around and see if I can find. So, there you go. I mean, because losing money is part of learning about business. Shit, hell, losing money is part of growing up. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll get them in chores or something.
You crazy. But last night was the testimony of Sister Tiandra Finn. She really, some brothers will say to you, I got to have me a light-skinned girl, your light-skinned, or whatever. And the different comments that we may get, even as light-skinned sisters, and she, she would let the brothers know that that's not a compliment to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a compliment. And she would say, go on to say, I'm chocolate just like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we in this game together. There is no difference because of the exterior piece. I'm chocolate just like you.
Somebody else
so
is
that really hit home for me. Because sometimes women do find that as a compliment when a brother be like, "Who you light-skinned and pretty?" I love me a light-skinned sister. All of that stuff. And so it felt good to hear the sister say how she was chocolate, just like the rest of us sisters. We all chocolate sisters, and we're not going to do that differentiating thing, And it's not a compliment. And I'm not really like that when she said that.
Somebody else has joined us on the line. What's going on, family? Feel free to share. Who is it?
I'm doing work on this house right now, and there's a lot of saws and drills going on, so I came in on mute.
Okay, cool. Did you was just calling in to listen?
I just
here, man. I know the real Quasi. That wasn't Quasi, dog. That was a clone. That nigga been cloned. I'm trying to tell you right now.
Yeah, you can't be telling my secrets, man. My clone's supposed to be a secret, man. Everybody ain't supposed to know.
Be deeper than me, fuck that. Get out. What are you doing? Talking about that's deep, dog. What? Now I gotta say something. No, but we really appreciate everybody that came out, and Quasi, it was good seeing you. That goes on that whole chocolate piece, because I wrote that shit. I have to, but I gotta find it. I wrote a poem years ago. As a matter of fact, my sister Jackie was the one. Jackie really let me know how she, this one right here. She was like, man, I need that shit. I was like, this is one of the first poems I wrote. I had a teacher of chocolates, and it says, it's long, y'all, so hold on. No one likes chocolate, but everyone seems to like vanilla and alpine white. The darker the chocolate, the longer it sits around, and no one will take a bite. Chocolate does. Now vanilla, goddamn. Hold on. Now vanilla just to be chocolate. Now to me being chocolate is the only word I would be in, but the only way I would be bought if my name was first European, or if in some way I try to fade to alpine, but there is no, or fudge is even better when it's made the right way. Either one will give me enough energy just to make it through the day. The worst part about the situation is when chocolate starts to dislike itself. Then it gets all hot and sticky and begins to melt. Now there's nothing in this world I mean, nothing against another. Now, vanilla doesn't like chocolate because it's becoming too sweet, and chocolate is becoming too wise for even Alpine White to cheat. Vanilla and Alpine White are upset because it's becoming harder to control. Chocolate has been doing research and found its history that vanilla and Alpine White hid. Now, chocolate knows it's been around for millions of years. Chocolate developed science, philosophy, mathematics, theology, and you even find pieces of chocolate in the pyramids. Chocolate even found out it was in America before vanilla touched the seas, made friends abroad, and started the first universities. Vanilla and Alpine White became. Do you have anything to back up the things that you are saying? Chocolate reached into his library, pulled out several books and years of research just to prove that it was not playing. Now, Chocolate said, look, here's the proof as any fool can see. And also, when the creator wanted something sweet, the creator first created me. Now, when other chocolates heard this, they fell in love with their own taste and started to get angry about all these simple tasks because chocolate had to first to learn to love themselves. Now, this was complicated because many obstacles had been put up. Chocolate had to first learn that there is no life without struggle and stagnation corrupts. Plus, vanilla and Alpine White definitely wasn't a joke. They put magic rocks in the chocolate neighborhoods that would get chocolate high when smoked. The magic rocks could easily develop laws that chocolate had to follow, just to make sure if chocolate won his struggle, his soul would definitely be hollow. Now, Alpine White was smart and king of all the tricksters. He tried to deny chocolate research by forming history in Spain. Now, with all this, chocolate didn't get upset. Chocolate figured as long as it could write and speak that it hadn't been defeated yet. Chocolate also realized that time was on his side because if you mix chocolate and vanilla or chocolate and Alpine White, you get a chocolate kind. Now, a plan of action they had to make up. They had to find a way to destroy the chocolates, especially the ones with the nuts. So vanilla scientists came up with something that could make chocolate melt and spread it throughout the community quietly, slowly, and with stealth. Now, chocolate didn't expect anything quite like shit that caused them to melt too. This contaminant wasn't choosy. It melted chocolates old or in their youth. On top of all this, the magic rocks caused the chocolate war, and it was killing chocolates, especially with nuts, by the score. Now, the question I often ask myself is up to you. To be continued. That shit about 30 years old, honestly. So,
that was dope. That was dope. Who wrote that?
What? What? Crazy, did you hear this, man? Oh, goddamn. I wrote that shit.
I heard that signature hot pen. That's signature right there.
Shit. She said, what? Who?
That's dope, Hot Tim. I didn't know you had talent like that.
What?
He done introduced some of the greats into the game. I'm just saying. For real. He gave a lot of people their start.
Man, Navita, I thought you at least heard me do poetry before. No.
No, I have not. I have not, but that gave me. I got something in the works now. My mind is grinding. I've already been having some grinding anyway because I really appreciate everybody for coming out yesterday because we had a lot of new faces yesterday.
Oh,
quote unquote conscious circle or whatever.
Word.
And they still may be conscious folk, but I'm just saying those are people that a lot of people, I knew them. But I mean, some of these people that I've grown up with for gosh, like once in the last probably 30 years, and she showed up yesterday. And it was just really, I have friends that I've known that was the first time they came to something like that I've had. It was just really good to see a lot of new faces in the building, and I appreciate everybody's support. Had a lot of feedback on that, a lot of emotional people that were actually, emotionally touched by the movie, and I'm glad it was successful.
Actually, Hatem was the first person the first time I ever set foot into an open mic poetry, which was over 10 years ago now. Hatem was the first person I saw on the stage. In between poets introducing the next poet, I think I might have heard more range of poetry from Hatem than I done heard from most poets. So, and he definitely gave me my start. He kind of literally and figuratively passed the mic to me and empowered me to include in poetry. So I mean, poetry is just the beginning of it's a small fraction of the spoken presence that Hatem has introduced to me, and I'm sure countless.
I was not able to come yesterday because I have a part-time job, so I was working. But I think that maybe, Navita, you said that there was more of a oftentimes, we discuss it here in Gye-Nyame. We talk about it, but maybe it's a topic that's sort of taboo in our one minute outlet to
What's up, Carrie Jenkins?
verify how they're feeling about that subject. And also, Lacey talked about, I'm kind of in that phase, like most people who know me think that I'm really quiet, which I am, and I don't really talk a lot. But I have been experimenting with writing and trying to be better at speaking in front of groups of people. So I don't know, is that something that as a community we could have some kind of event or something that just aren't necessarily poets or that don't do this, all the
now,
I think people would be interested in doing that.
I think people, how do we, so are you, so let's take that a little bit deeper. Wait, first off,
I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. I don't know what that would look like, but go.
Carrie Jenkins is on Facebook. We want to send shots out to Carrie Jenkins. You remember? You know who that is, right, Kwesi? Shots out. All right. So now, but go ahead, Kwesi. You was talking. I'm trying to, because that's a good idea, but because I'm trying to get, because that might be something.
He took, he showed me love. It ain't been a year really since we have been went since out without communicating since we first hooked up. But that's another person Hatem to connect me with, man. But now I was thinking that ever since you brought me on stage and kind of encouraged me to get up there, I done got more and more comfortable. And it's been about 2 years now since I did one, and I don't know. I wasn't necessarily thinking about doing that, consciously, but I know I'm getting back into at that point in time because I just was dealing with my own stuff.
Right.
But,
But the beauty of stage. The beauty of being on stage is that you get to deal with your stuff. And you set a brother up, and I get up there, man, and by about 10 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? That's a joke. But let me say this. It is our responsibility to pass the mic. Because what you up, and I'll pull other young people up and be like, yo, it's time for y'all to start hosting this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, I'm building for eternity. I don't know what I run until I don't know what motherfuckers else. I don't know what other people out there is building towards. I'm building for eternity. So that means that I have to pass the mic, because one day you might be able to pass the mic to Cleve or pass.
It was smooth, you did it in a way you made it seem like you needed me to. Well, I watched you do it.
I did need you.
The show, but you put it.
I did need you, because by the end of the show, by the end of the show, I did need you. You know what I'm saying? At that point in time, especially when it was hot, you know what I'm saying? And people was paying at the door. You know what I'm saying? By the end of the night, I did need you. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't an act. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's like at that point in time, I was going through a lot of shit in my life. I'm still going through a lot of shit. So I did need you. You know what I'm saying? That's what the young people got to understand, dog. With all of y'all, we need y'all. You know what I'm saying? We need all of your talents. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The thing of it for me though, why I kind of say I was in the streets, but I wasn't like no centerpiece in the streets. I was just another nigga in the streets. You see what I'm saying? So then when I came there, I was a dude in the streets that was talking this type of conscious stuff to a bunch of dudes that didn't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to hear that shit. So when I came there, you there was a role for me, and you know, consciously, subconsciously, however that happened, like you created a space for me to be able to feel important doing something that was important for me, and that changed my life.
But back to Sister Cynthia's thought, because maybe what we don't need is we could do poetry, those subjects that are in the sense of plaguing our community, and be able to get up and express their ideas about it. The only question I have to ask is, how would we structure that? Because what poetry does, the way at least a poetry slam, or maybe we could tell people they could do presentations and give them a time, because you know sometimes somebody going off the cuff can get up there for about 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with it, but everybody else is not necessarily cool with you doing over 5 minutes of material and then going down memory lane. But are you talking about a poetry piece, Sister Cynthia, or were you talking about just people being able?
Maybe sort of both. You know, maybe we could choose a specific topic, and make it so that it's not just discussion or someone, you know, one facilitator just kind of doing most of the talking. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing it out there.
Good throw.
Think about that. Think about it. You said some of the topics that are maybe problematic yet taboo that we don't really get into in the community. So I think some take it for granted, and others just don't want to talk about it. Let me come right back.
Either. In the middle. But go on, take the call. All right, so now, so right now, family, we're talking.
Another topic,
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to suggest another topic that. I'm sorry, I got somebody going through a crisis. I'm sorry.
Go ahead and your business.
So.
Wait, hold on, Avita.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
I'm sorry about that, y'all.
Hold on for a second. We got Sister Cynthia finish what you were saying.
I need to discuss, because I know I was at this point in my life at one time, is sort of making that transition from religious-based ideas to spiritual-based ideas. Because I kind of struggled with that for a minute until I kind of was able to find the right people, and, you know, it's an individual journey, but I think sometimes, and how do I, you know, take care of myself spiritually without feeling like I'm dishonoring my family or sometimes people struggle with that. They don't really want to go to church, but they don't feel like they don't have another option.
Right. Right.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's one discussion piece that we could
happening to the people that have been in. Because what you start to notice is that people come in late 20s, early 30s, you know what I'm saying? Seriously, like doing work. And hitting the 40s and 50s, but then as they start reaching the maturity point of their life up, is some of the fears that we have, because far as the struggle, we don't have a heaven concept. We don't have it. You understand what I'm saying? That really addresses the needs of individuals, or even take care. I mean, really, in many ways, what we're building does not take care of the social needs. Walk. And we need to come up with a concept that fits in the area where people can practice their spirituality in a community and feel. Because one of the major things that bother me is what I call the Black Power retirement account, which means that when you die, motherfuckers got to get up and scrounge. Because a lot of us that are looking at the elders that might be mad now, we will be where they are real soon. Those of us that's in our 50s, we know it because we done seen it calm down, and they 60 and 70 years old, and they're looking mortality in the face. And the question we got to ask as a movement is, how do we help our elders look mortality in the face? Not just with money, but also with their wisdom, with their involvement, and their energy. I'm sorry, go ahead, Sister Navita, because I think you was next on the mic.
Well, I think that, hold on, y'all. Excuse me. Most of the people that I know that came last night were actually, religious people, Christian people. And I think that the top people of us, whether we're quote-unquote conscious, Catholic, Jew, whatever, that was a topic that everybody could relate to. So I think that's why the turnout was as it was.
And I'm just like, yo, I mean, we got to be able to reach and provide certain. I mean, the reality, and it's gonna sound spooky to some of those that might pop on. We need you to invest your life into the progress of our people. We need you. I mean, we need you to invest your life. We need you to get your children geared up to be prepared to fight for. Because we have become the universal people, we have only been able to survive. And I'm just trying to let people know there's a whole nother aspect of life where we should be able to not just survive but thrive. You know what I'm saying? So shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the spiritual, when we look at the spiritual principles of truth, justice, righteousness, reciprocity, balance, order, and harmony, that shit wouldn't have worked for Kemet if it didn't apply to Kemet first. I'm going to be true. You have to understand the context in which these spiritualities were used. These were not universal spiritual principles. These were spiritual principles. These were ideas that helped to motivate and push the culture forward. Now, when you start applying and bringing everybody, you handicap your children. You allow them to exist in a world raceless, in a world that is full of races and full of groups that's trying to take advantage of motherfuckers. And my issue is, as a black man, I'm not letting that shit happen with us no more. Not willingly. You know what I'm saying? Not willingly. Folks say, get out and vote, get out and vote, get out and vote. Where my motherfucking conscious ticket? You understand what I mean when I say a conscious ticket? If black folks are telling black folks to vote, it makes no sense to a fucking sermon. When I go to the polling office, when I go to cast my vote, if there is somebody leading me in my vote, your ancestors died for the right to vote, but they had an agenda. And what is the agenda for black folks when it comes to politics? What is the agenda when it comes to economics? Where is
Are there any candidates?
Matter of fact, yes, there are. And because somebody called me, the only reason I was thinking about this because somebody called for weapon as a people. But instead of being a weapon in the hand of an experienced sniper, somebody who could all supposedly have this free thought, except when it comes to style, except when it comes to dance. Because I'm going to tell you, motherfuckers be screaming how much freedom they want, but you go to years old, start hopping around like one of these little kids, and I'm just looking at this shit like, what is this nigga doing? You know what I'm saying? So we believe in individual thought when it comes to important shit to eat. All this little unimportant shit, we got all this individual thought. It's group thought. You know what I'm saying? What's in style and little shit like that that's really controlling our lives. But when it comes to the big shit, we start doing the research and at least in Columbus, put out a ticket. And then have somebody, like with our own media, go to these motherfuckers and ask them questions. If they don't let us ask them questions, you know what? That will be a difference between you winning and you losing. We need motherfuckers to report to our community, to us, to discuss it. Now, I know this guy kind of got off, but what Sister Cynthia and what Sister Navita are doing right now is building up collectives of people that will be able, because just those ideas, I had one issue that was talked about there. That was issue 1. Other than that if I go vote, well, I ain't going to say if, because I already told y'all I'm going to do it, because what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start helping develop a ticket, or at least get a team with me that can help develop a political ticket so that we can start making sure that when we voting for people, I don't give a fuck who you are. You can't get in office. Period. Because it's about money. I'm sorry.
I was just thinking that in addition to the movie piece, we could do some other kind of piece, whether it be edutainment, more social thing, and maybe, have it like I was watching your video. Was that your video with the DJ last night? Something, that could attract. That was just really cool.
That video that I put up was J. Rawls and brother DJ O-Sharp. And like I said, if we was to throw an event and had them there, they'd get a crowd there. And they hot. Because in hip-hop, there's no illusions. In real hip-hop, not this rap shit, there's no illusions about the role of the DJ. And I know some people go, hip-hop is that, but hip-hop has a lot of shit that comes from this fucked up experience that we have over here. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a certain part of me that I don't necessarily want to expose, but eventually I'm going to have to expose, because I have a lot of anger. And I'm going to be honest with you, I have a lot of anger with Yahweh. I got a lot of anger with Allah. I got a lot of anger, spiritual kick with me. You know what I'm saying? With Heru.
You already know where I'm at with that.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed at Heru. I'm pissed at Asar. I'm pissed with Allah. I'm pissed with Yah. I'm pissed with all. I'm just saying. And I have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the story, because just like the story that you might have missed at the beginning, I did the story of the hair with many friends. And we are the people with many friends, with many gods, with me, with Shango or Batala, or before you approach me with Asar, Aset, before you approach me with Yahweh, you need to...
First of all, to address, we're talking about...
Wait a minute, is this the Black Yoda?
Brother...
This is the Black Yoda.
But nonetheless, regardless of what mythology you follow, we're Africans all over the place. So thus, this is just a continuation of the African experience. Not to borrow from what Malcolm first was. The second one is, when you take a mythology for what it's meant to be,
there we go,
and not for what people are making it.
Okay, that's what I'm at.
You need to be a little more
refined. I can't help it, man.
Refined.
I'm pissed off, man.
Presentation and I understand your frustration.
I'm very frustrated.
But I just want to. I'm just coming back
and shit. But I'm gonna let you go and do it, Elder. And shit.
Look, bro, whatever I do is in love.
I already know. I ain't.
And our love is for our people.
I agree. But when do we throw the cold water on motherfuckers?
Everybody may not be aware of that. Their thinking is not that way. They're just.
I'm not concerned about those whose thinking is not that way. It's enough of us whose thinking we have a critical mass of people. I mean, family. All the shit that we've been getting is not helping us. And I'm getting older, and in a minute, I'm not going to have the type of energy because we continue to allow motherfuckers on this politically correct, believing in spirit, react. We get to watch this. Break it down. I know.
You come to them. Look, I'm not telling you to change the way you come from that perspective, because, again, I don't care what people believe as long as they're not working against it. When they work against it.
Go ahead, Elder. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But I have to stress what Brother Wakesa is trying to instill in us. We have to know who the true enemy is.
I agree. I'm just saying.
A lot of these folks
They don't know?
These pastors know, man. You know they know.
And it's like if my piece is
who is the true enemy?
I think sometimes we are our own enemy.
But hold on. That's an excellent question.
Who's the enemy? I don't know who that brother is that person that was talking. I don't know who that is.
That's Brother Kwame. That's Brother Kwame. He can answer that. Go ahead. Answer that for him, Brother Kwame.
Yeah, I'm interested in you the person that brought it up. I'm interested in who is the enemy specifically.
I'm saying the enemy is the person who's taking food out your mouth. Can't let me get mine and provide for mine, then you become the enemy.
Now, but he want to be a little bit more specific because I already know this. White folks to hold us where we are. Not saying because I know some of y'all, not all white folks, but there's a system that has been put in place that makes sure that they are able to go to the table before you. And by the time you get to the table, there's nothing but crumbs left. They're stopping you from eating. What he's saying is, more importantly, is who is not the enemy. What Kwame don't want me to fall into is attacking my own, which I try to avoid. But when people come, but what I'm saying is, when do we start dealing with those that are really in our tribe? See, because what start to happen is that people start feeling that, I can voice whatever the fuck I want to, whenever I want to, because we don't have the ability, and which will disappear soon. We need to be able to reward our friends and destroy our enemies. Period, point blank. As a black man, I could do foul shit, and there's no repercussions from us. As a black woman, I could just be a foul motherfucker, and there's no repercussion from us. As long as I stay up under the radar from the system or from white people, I'm cool. And we have to change that shit. And all I'm saying is, when I'm saying I'm pissed at Allah, I'm not pissed at black people. When I'm pissed at Jesus, I'm not pissed at black people. When I'm pissed at Shango, I'm not talking about black people. When I'm just asking the question, and I think it's a question that's legitimate, that where was all the spiritual love and when they was herding me up on slave ships? Where's that shit when I'm a majority of the prison population? You know what I'm saying? It got to such a point, and a lot of people, I honestly believe that when it comes down to reality, most black people are atheists. They're just too scared to admit it. And they're hedging their bets because they will say Jesus, they will say Allah, they will say anything just in case they are wrong. They're hedging their bets. But most black folks, I agree
with that to a certain degree.
Most black folks are atheists.
I ain't scared of that shit. I ain't scared to go to hell. I'll fuck Satan up. If I went to hell, I'll fuck everybody up. I'll be so pissed that I was in this place that was just on fire forever. I'm on fire forever. I'm fucking everybody up. Forever. And I'm going to break out. You see what I'm saying? That shit can't hold me. Like, oh, okay, this is what it is. It ain't no more bullshit now. It ain't no more deception. Hell ain't that scary. Hell is actually way more, this sounds worse than hell. Because they trying to make it seem like this ain't just all the way fucked up. But at least hell, everything is real. There ain't no more deception in hell. This is what it is.
See, but that's the point. That's the point.
If you take, for example,
who says hell exists?
If you take, for example, this is hell, then you realize you ain't got nothing to lose for going for it.
I agree.
And that's why I'm saying, when you have a proper understanding of a lot of these mythos that we're presented with, and I mean, and how Tim has the point, I mean, we're taking control of our storytelling.
We got to.
We have to take control of our myth.
We have to. You know what I'm saying? Because the myth that we have right now have us aiming for one place and trying to avoid another place and doing everything to stay within the rules within this place that is fucking us over. And those are stories. And it's like we don't understand the story. So we got people taking the stories to such an extent that they become so spiritual that they are are of no earthly good. That's all I'm really against. Because for those people that know me, I am very spiritual, but I'm just not into turning, because I understand that my ancestors worked through me, and my ancestors worked through Navita, and my ancestors worked through Cynthia, and they worked through Kwame and Kwesi. Because whenever I received a blessing, it always came through a person. I ain't never walked home and it was a mysterious check sitting on the motherfucking thing to pay my. No, all my miracles were.
That's how things happen.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mythology tells us that all are, from the Kemetic perspective anyway, that all are nature.
And I agree.
You and me.
And I agree.
Look, man, after we pour our libations, you do yours late in the day and whatnot, but that's all right.
That's fucked up.
Still with you, right? When I get up early,
that was an unjustified low shot, Yoda. But that's cool, because I'm a Sith. I'm going to get your ass. That's cool.
Look, bro, we all in love, man. So, but when I'm doing mine, at the end of my prayers, bro, I say, Lord Most High, ancestors, let us be the answer to our prayers. Ashe,
Ashe,
Ashe, Ashe.
I hear you.
I agree.
And that's all I'm throwing out. That's all I'm throwing out, Kwame, because it comes to a point where we even have to draw the lines on. See, because if something pops off, then everybody gonna be black. I'm with identifying that shit now. I want to know who on our side, who not. I want to know who real friends, who real allies, because everybody become your friend and ally when you have the resources or you have the ability to protect when shit is going down. And I just feel that we need to be very clear, because I don't want to rate. Because it might come to a point, and I don't want to get to this, where it might be a limited amount of food. I want to make sure that I'm feeding somebody's child who was struggling with us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Who was building with us.
Mm-hmm.
See, because I need people to understand. I love my people, and I love you because you melanated. But once you identify where you are, and you let me know where the lines are drawn, see, because we are allowed to be vague. I want to reward my friends, and I want to destroy my enemies. That's very African. That's very hip-hop. Nigga, you don't want to be down with us? I could dig that. And I understand where we at. I understand in the reality and in how my ancestors dealt with the universe. Because I want you to think about what happened to individuals that disagreed with the Pharaoh. I don't think it was a lot of debate. What happened to other people when the Pharaoh wanted to move to a certain place and he wanted to do something? I don't think it was a lot of debate about that shit. I don't think there was a consensus. I'm just being honest.
No, I mean, I when you started talking about that, I considered the story of what's called the eloquent peasant. No, I'm sorry, not the eloquent, but the story of Sinaway, where there was an uprising in the kingdom, and someone killed the pharaoh. And Sinaway was like, a really young advisor in training to the pharaoh. So in order to keep himself from getting killed, he broke camp. And, or many of you know the story where he goes off and he does quite well for himself because he's educated, right?
Right.
And he gets to a point where he's sitting there and he's like, damn, I'm in a place where I'm practically fighting for my life because I've become so, well liked and everything, and you got jealous people all around me and whatnot. Shit, I'm feeling homesick, right?
Right.
So the brother writes a letter to the new ruler of Kemet, and he basically, I'm paraphrasing now, but he's basically saying, look, these are the circumstances under which I left. My most sincere, apologies and regrets. for having left. But I'd like to come home. But I fear for my life because of the circumstances under which I left.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that speaks to what you're talking about, that, look, enemies didn't go unpunished.
Oh, hell no. This whole forgiveness shit didn't come into effect until after they start whooping our asses. Oh, you need to forgive your enemies. People wasn't doing that shit. This whole, it happened and we're gonna, no. That is some new black people shit. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Forgive your enemies. Can't we all just get, that's new in human history. Because you can't have a nation where people could just do shit. See, this is what people don't, you can't have a crew. If you just in high school, just think about high school, or even junior high, you can't have a crew where everybody claims to be part of their crew, where anybody can come up and punch somebody in your crew and y'all don't respond. Y'all don't, or even take proaction. You don't even have to be in that moment. You can pull the one that got hit to safety, but y'all have to deal with that. Because you have to be able to reward your friends and punish your enemies. And even destroy them. But we don't want to deal with that shit. We don't want to deal with real politics. What we want to deal with is spiritual, deep spiritual thoughts, not realizing that spirituality is still on a balance. It still works with my eye. See,
no,
because,
look, bro, I think you should make it plain for them. What people are referring to as spirituality is only one aspect of that.
Right.
It's only one aspect of that. It's very incomplete, very imbalanced.
Very.
And makes it very inharmonious with what's going on around you.
Because other people is practicing it full out. There has to be a balance. And you can't, the universe, while you waiting for the universe is waiting for you and waiting for us. Well, the arc of justice is long. You know, do you know that there's a difference from when Martin Luther King said the arc of justice is long between him when he said that and when he died? But you don't hear that. Most people don't even study that part of Martin Luther King's evolution. You know, I mean, it's like, yo, what the fuck? These motherfuckers, I mean, you know, I mean, like, I'm not a big Bill Cosby fan. But I can look at that shit, and some people need to lose their motherfucking job. Some people need to be put out of office. Some people need to be made to pay for that. Because you cannot tell me that Bill Cosby at 83 going to jail is fair on this whole, and this ain't even Me Too. See, because a lot of people are trying to say this is a Me Too victory. This is not a Me Too victory. This shit started before Me Too. This shit started before Me Too. This is, really for me, this is an eye-opener for those of you out there. Bill Cosby has served them. He has posted. Damn. But anyway. Oh, man. Hey, Kwame.
Yo.
I need a favor. See, this is dope. Look at this. We on a live show. I need a favor. Can you call Elder Oripiarki on the other line and act, because I can't call. All my shit is gone. I know he wanted to pick up his Ambrosia. Can you? I'm just saying.
I'll see what I can do.
Bro. All right. But
you know what?
Don't worry about
it. What exactly do you need from him?
Don't worry about it. I'll just deal with it in a second because we gonna end soon. But when I'm doing my shows.
Well, family, I got family that's in town, 20 years removed. So I love you all. One love.
Peace, God. Huh? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Anybody want to comment on what we said?
Everybody got dropped? Oh, I always appreciate the dialogue. I appreciate being able to call in and speak. Thankful for your platform, sharing. And just, for those that are listening, hopefully something has touched you so that you can begin to think differently and come along with us on this nation-building journey.
Word.
And I'll see you later, Brother Hatem, for my ambrosia.
That's right. I'm gonna call you right after the show. I'm about to start doing. That's what Elder Ori Piaki was calling about as well. So I'm gonna get
everybody waiting on that ambrosia.
I got it packed in the car. I'm about to go. I gotta eat. I'm about to get up. I'm gonna eat on the move. But family, I want to thank everybody. Sister Navita, you got anything you want to close with? Sister Navita, you still there? Oh, she got company. All right. So, family, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to remind you that you have taken part with the Congregation of the Mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Oh, there's none like it. Come on, Anime. This is a Heart of December production. Of course, you know this has been a daily toast as well as conversation. Well, as usual, we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Shouts out to Sister Cynthia, Sister Navita, Brother Kwame, Brother Quasi for calling in. Shouts out to Mr. Jenkins. Thank you for hitting us up, letting us know that you was out there. And everybody else that was watching that I didn't know, I want to thank you. And I love you and thank you for your participation and support. And Sister Cynthia, text me your information so that I can go on because I'm about to get in the car right now. And wherever you are right now, I'm bringing it. All right? Peace.
All right.